how you doing? I trust you're doing well. This is Dr. Titch, and for these sessions, I'll be Coach Titch because I'm coming on as a coach. I want to take you on an amazing journey and answer all the great questions that you've had about should I publish a book? How do I publish a book? How can I get my book to be a business? How can I build a brand around my book? How can I make money out of my book? And how can I become a successful author? If you're interested in any one of those questions, you are in the right place. This is your favorite coach, Coach Titch, and I run Faithland Publishers. Faithland Publishers, you can see all the branding behind me here that's telling you who we are and what we do. We love books. I love books so much. I decided to go into publishing, and I love to read books. I read hundreds of books every year just to stay up with, to stay connected with what's happening and stay informed and empower myself, grow myself, develop myself. I've just published at the time of this recording, I just published my 15th book, and I just love books. You can see some of them are all piled here. Great books that would help you a lot, but my focus right now is your book. There is a book inside of you to be a blessing to your generation, to help somebody out, and to give somebody some answers, some solutions, and so on. So you are in the right place. I'd love for you to click the like button and follow us, subscribe to this channel, and you will get more brilliant content in the days to come. And today we're just focusing on how to publish, and then we're going to have some more resources coming up on how to build your brand, how to get your brand to be in people's faces, how to turn your book into a business, how to market your book. Like I said, I've just published my 15th book, and of all my books, I think we probably have over 10,000 of them in terms of hard copies printed out there, probably about 15 or so thousand floating out there. But in terms of a total tally of my books that are out there circulating, you're talking about 30,000 or just over that. So according to South African terms, I'm a best-selling author because I've beat the requirements of what a best-selling author is. So let's get into it. On our notes, you'll be seeing the notes coming up and down, so you can take notes as I go along. I want to just spend a few minutes with you so that you can go out and do this. Your book must come out. So let's talk about it. Go big or go home. You know the song, Go Big or Go Home. You know the song? Yeah, I like that song. It just challenged me to say, if I'm going to do something, let me do it big. Go big or go home. I don't want to go home. I want to go big. I want to do big things. So everything that we do is always at a big scale. From publishing our books, creating our content, and everything else. So I'm one of those guys. It says make no small plans here. You've got to always think big. How can you make a big difference? So to tell you a little bit about myself, like I said, I'm an author and I'm the founder of Faithland Publishers, and I'm going to tell you how I established Faithland Publishers, and it was kind of an accident that it happened. Our vision is bringing community transformation, poverty eradication through the training and equipping of transformational leaders. So if we can do that with you, help you become a transformational leader through your book and your publications, we have become successful. So that's our goal, to help you bring community transformation through your content, touch somebody's life, make a difference, and we go on an amazing journey together. And out of that, we are going to help you grow your ideas so that, as you can see on the screen again, those are some of the businesses, the 17 businesses that my family and I are running and growing and developing, and all of them kind of started accidentally in that, let me tell you my little backstory. Right on the corner there, you'll see a sign that says Success Paradigms 101. That was my first book. Just after I went through a very difficult time in my life, I decided God instructed me write a book. So I wrote a book called Success Paradigms. And out of Success Paradigms, the book came Success Paradigms, the company. Out of Success Paradigms, the company, then came a whole line of companies and a whole line of books. So all of those have become really life-changing, life-transforming books. But it all began with an experience. I always tell people, don't waste your experience. What have you gone through? You've gone through divorce, you've gone through a failed relationship, you've gone through much pain and trauma, you were abused, you were hurt, you were hooked on drugs, you didn't do well at school. Don't waste your experience. Come, let us help you make it a book, because somebody is going to learn from your story and be able to go to the next level of their life. So I am a business person, an entrepreneur, I'm a coach. My passion is people development. That's why I am here. I'm really here to be your friend. I'm here to go the journey with you. I'm here to take you along and say, hey, let's go, let's go, let's go. Let's become successful together. That's the whole goal. Now, let me tell you how I became a publisher. When I wrote my first book, Success Paradigms 101, I was Googling publisher, where to find a publisher, what kind of publishers are there, and you know, the algorithms within the websites and the places I was searching began to send me emails and content that was relevant to what I was searching. So I eventually found a publisher somewhere based in the United Kingdom, and they charged me £4,500 to publish my first book, Success Paradigms. And that was quite a journey, because firstly, I didn't have £4,500. I live in Johannesburg, South Africa. I didn't have £4,500, which was equivalent to about 64,000 rands at that time. So I had to look for 64,000 rand, and eventually I managed to pay them. They agreed to do installments. So over 3 months, I published my first book, and it was like, whoa. And then one day I'm sitting at home and DHL knock at the door, pa, pa, pa. And we opened the door, and there they are with boxes of the books. And by the way, I had to pay an extra 1,500 for the printing and for the delivery of all those books. So here I have 1,400 copies of my first book. What am I going to do with 1,400? I didn't think selling. I didn't think marketing. I didn't think what's the next stage. I was just thinking, let me publish my book. Let me publish my book. And I know many authors are like that. We get to that place where you now have the book in your hands and you're thinking, okay, what do I do with this thing? This is one of my latest books. This came out, I think, 2 years ago. And this is Masters of the Economy, how to create an economy out of whatever product that you have in your hand. So that was 1,400 books, nowhere to go, nowhere to sell. So I had to start selling them. I'd sell 2 books here, 1 book there. Some friends that were compassionate, that felt sorry for me, would buy a book, and somebody else would say, oh, come on, I'll buy 2, I'll buy 3, I'll buy them as birthday presents. And after a year and a half, I had sold 1,400 books. And that was like, whoa, that was a lot of work. Now, from that time in the first year of me as a publisher to the recent history, where it's now 1.2 or 1.3 million in terms of revenue return on investment on the books that I've sold, that's a long way to come. But now I can help you go the journey. You don't have to go through what I went through in order to get to where I am. All you have to do is get yourself a good coach like me, and we go the journey together. So get in touch with me. You've got my details. You've got our website. You've got our contacts. Please get in touch. You want to get your book out. You want to know, even if it is just to give you advice, to coach you along the journey, I'm still here. I'm your friend, and I want to help you birth your book. So that's a little bit about me. After we did that 1,400 struggling process, I then said, let me publish my second book, which, by the way, was a really, really beautiful book, which I still love today. This was book number 2. It is called Amongst the Giant Killers. I wrote a book for men. This is all about men becoming giant killers. Beautiful cover. Don't you just like that? It's a beautiful cover, and it's a beautiful book. I wrote this as a challenge to myself. It took me, I think, 4 weeks to write this book and get it out into the market. And within a matter of a couple of months, months, I think 2 or so months, I sold 600 copies of that book. Now, that's a big difference from first book. It takes me 1.5 years to sell 1,400. Second book, it took me 2 months to sell 600 copies. So you can see now I was beginning to grow and learn how to get things going. By the time I did my second book and working on my third one, a pastor came and said, "Who's publishing your books? Your books look so good. I need your publisher's contact details." But because the second book I published for myself, guess what? I gave them my contact details. Wasn't that awesome? So they said, "Okay, I'll get in touch with your publisher." It's like, "Oh, that's your number." Yeah, it is. I am my publisher. So I published my first client, and now many clients later, we're doing a lot of books, a lot of people, our books and our content is really books that I call books that add value to life, to humanity, that bring change and transformation. So that's our main focus in terms of the books and the content that we bring out. So out of that little accident was birthed Faithland Publishers, and we are here to serve you. It's an honor to serve you. Now, let's go into our session today. Here's our coaching session today. How can I publish a book? Let's answer that. We answer that by asking many more questions. Question number 1, why should you write a book? And I want to give you at least 8 reasons. There's more than that, but I'm going to give you 8 main reasons why you should write a book or publish your book. Because I know there's a book in you. I know you're ready to really make a difference out in the world. So let's answer the why question. The why question is going to give you confidence when you bring out your book and your product to the market to say, "I got a book and I'm confident that this book is going to change your life." It begins with this little question: why should I write a book? Reason number 1, we write books to solve problems. What problem are you solving in people's lives? A lot of my books are on finance and financial success. So I'm solving a problem. People need more money. People need financial freedom. People need to know how to create money. People need to know how to get out of debt. So that's the problem that I am solving. What is your book going to solve? What problem is it going to solve? Number 2, it answers the questions that are being asked. Never write a book about why pink stones are pink, because not many people are interested in knowing why pink stones are pink. Okay? Simple. But if you want to write a book, a survey was done in the last 10 years that the most popular books that are being bought today are what they call your how-to books. How to cook an egg, how to get married, how to use Adobe, how to use a MacBook, how to download an app. So the how-to books are answering a question, solving a problem. What problem is your book solving? The bigger the problem and the more common that problem is, the bigger your audience. So you need to answer a question. Number 2, meet needs and provide solutions. What need are you meeting and what solutions are you bringing to the table? The value of your solutions will determine the value that comes back as a return. So always make sure your books carry value. Number 4, to equip and empower others. Equipping, training, and developing people is a big business. People want to grow. People want to become better. So when you provide a solution, guess what? They will be on you like a bee to honey. And then number 5, you write a book to amplify your voice. You want to speak to more people. Now, I am sitting here, but there are more than 30,000 books that have been published with my name on them that are circulating. That means I am sitting here, but I've spoken to more than 30,000 people, and I don't know how many people are reading my books right now, reading my blogs right now, reading my articles right now. So I have multiplied my effectiveness by virtue of a publication. We also do that to fulfill a dream or a vision. You've always, I really want to write a book. So you do it to fulfill that dream and that vision and get to heaven one day and say, I did what I wanted to do. Like Miles Monroe always said, die empty. Don't go to the grave with your dream and your vision on the inside of you. Number 7, you do it to birth a business. And if you subscribe and click the subscribe button down there, guess what? You are going to be able to get the next session, which is how to turn my book into a business, and which is what I've done. So in essence, with 15 books, I have 15 businesses. That's exciting. And each of the books actually is like 3 or 4 businesses in of itself. So I have probably about 45 businesses just in the books. And I'm going to teach you how to turn your book into a business and create revenue streams and begin to multiply your revenue. And that's exciting. We call that passive income. We call that money that just flows into your life. And then number 8, the last one I'm giving you today, is to follow a divine instruction. Because I know some people, especially if you're a pastor, if you're in ministry, you're an apostle, teacher, whatever it is, you probably know that inside of you there's a message that God has called you to give to this generation, a message that is really burning on the inside of you. So by writing it and putting it into a book, guess what? You're following and obeying a divine instruction that you are to write a book. So we are here to take you on this journey. Remember, Coach Titch is your friend. I'm your friend. I'm here to help you. I'm here to make it easy. I'm here to take you on an amazing journey. Now let's go into how to write a book. Birthing a book is birthing a business. There must be some thought and planning that goes on behind the scenes. So when you're birthing a book, don't just think, write a book, write a book, write a book. You got to go into what's the business model. What does the business strategy look like? And guess what? When you come to us and you're working with us as Faithland Publishers, guess what we will do? We will supply you with a template of a business plan. What does a business plan do? It just helps you to know the journey and what the journey looks like, the financial implications, and you get your cash flow projections. You get everything in proper perspective, and it's a well thought through plan that will help you get success. You then work through the process and you arrive at the expected destination. This is exciting. Making it easy. Step number 1. Let me take you through 10 quick steps. Now, guess what? The content I'm giving you, I'm really compressing it because I want to keep this video very short. But if you would like to get in touch with us and go through the full course, please feel free to do so. For all our clients, we actually take them through the coaching process, which is what generally sometimes is missing from publishers. They just want to give you the end product and keep you so reliant on them. But we are here to empower you to grow your wings and go out there and do big things. So step number 1, what's the vision? Proverbs 29:18 says, write the vision down. Now it says, that's Habakkuk chapter 2 verse 1 to 4. He says, write the vision down, make it plain on tablets of stone, so he that reads it may run. That's another motivation for writing. So you must have a clear vision. What's the vision for the book? What do I want the book to do? Who do I want the book to reach? What kind of impact do I want it to have? What kind of return do I want it to have? That's the vision part. Proverbs 29:18 says, where there is no vision, the publishing of the book will perish. Well, it says where there's no vision, the people perish. But there must be a vision. What do I want to achieve? The vision or the concept is the first step. And you've got to take time to think and develop the idea. That means go into the idea room, go into that space where you're now thinking, even if it means bringing a whole team around you, 2, 3, 4, 5 people that become your mastermind team. You sit around the table and you begin to throw ideas. It's going to make you that much more successful. Step number 2. Yes, step number 2. I hope you took some notes there. Step number 2. We're moving. Develop the idea. Now I've got the idea. I want to write a book for men that's going to empower and equip men to become successful in pursuing their personal vision. That was what was going on behind the scenes with this book. Develop a book, develop the idea so that the idea begins to become clear. How are we going to do it? Okay, when we have written the book, we're going to do a workbook, and then we're going to create a curriculum that we take men on a 2-week course on how to become a giant killer and sit amongst the giant killers. So that's exciting. So not only is there a book, there is a workbook. So what do we do with the workbook? We do seminars. I go to different churches, different run men's fellowships, men's groups. We do camps for men out in the bushes or mountains somewhere, and we sit over a 2-3 hour period and we pump them with wisdom on how to become a giant killer. So the book has become a business, the workbook has become a business, the seminars have become a business. So I get paid to talk about how to become a giant killer. That's exciting. So what are we doing? We're developing the idea. You create a mastermind team, you bounce ideas together, get feedback from the people so that you have candid talk and candid conversation around the idea. I know I'm talking real fast. I'm always told, my kids tell me, Dad, you talk so fast. Yeah, I talk so fast because I got so much to say in so little time. So we got to go fast. Get feedback, research, do your market analysis. So I studied on men. I read a whole lot of other books about men, and I studied how what men are going through, what men are facing, and all of that research enriched the whole publishing process. And then I got responses from people. So I started to send it around to a couple of people. What do you think about this book? I'll say, no, it sounds good. This is missing. Add this. What about this? And all their questions began to make the book very, very beautiful. Step number 3, decide on the structure. What type of book is it? Structure talks about what type of book. Most of my books, except I think I did this one, which has a slightly different structure. This is called Millionaire Kids Club. I do coaching for kids on how to become millionaires by the time they finish matric. So that would be an awesome program to take. If you have kids, this would be a great program for them. But you see, the difference between this book and that one is this one has illustrations. I don't know if you can see that from where you are. It has pictures in there, full color pictures. So it's a slightly different model to this one. Here I'm writing for adults, they don't need pictures, but here I'm writing for kids. Kids need pictures. So the book structure is different based on the target audience. What type of book will meet the need? How big should it be? Should it be A5? Should it be colored or black and white? Should it have illustrations or not? The structure of your book will determine the appeal and the response from your audience. Okay, you got that? This is really good stuff. It's going to make you a powerful author, and your book is going to be a bestseller, just like mine have become best-selling books as well. So that's your destiny. Become a best-selling author. Step number 4, do the outline. Now, what I normally do is after I've done my structure of the book and I'm developing the idea in my mind, I use an app called Google Docs. In Google Docs, you're able to work on your book virtually. So I can access it on all my gadgets, my phones, my laptops. I can access it when I'm in flight and write while I'm in the air, in the plane, traveling somewhere, and I go on off mode, editing off mode, on airplane mode. There we go. I can work on it, and the moment I'm back into network, it updates automatically and all my content is never lost. One of the biggest things that I've had to deal with, the most painful thing I've ever had to deal with authors, is authors that write just on their phone or on their laptop. I've had a couple of people come crying, oh my car, somebody broke into my car and my book is gone. It was just on their laptop. That's a big mistake. Your intellectual property is valuable. I know the pain of losing one sentence when I'm writing a book. It's painful to just lose one sentence if it is not saved. That's why I write in Google Docs, because it's saving real time. Every time I type one word, it saves it. I type 2 words, it saves it. Why? Because I cannot afford to lose my book. So you do the outline. I'm currently working on my 16th book, 17th book. In fact, I'm writing about 14 books right now at the same time. And all of them are on Google Docs. All of them have got their structures. All of them have got their chapter outlines. All of them have got the content, the research material already there, the links to the websites that I'll be researching, the papers that I'm researching from, etc. So all of that is just now time for me to sit there and enjoy the process of writing. So you decide on your structure, you do the outline. What is the flow of the message? What should chapter 1 be? What's chapter 2? What's chapter 3? What's chapter 4? Now, we may want to take a pause right now and have a cup of coffee. Do you have your coffee? If you didn't have, get your coffee. Next time when you're doing these coaching sessions, get your coffee and enjoy it. I'm actually drinking my coffee from one of our mugs. This is one of the mugs that we did for our latest publication. Look at this. Isn't that a beautiful match? The book and the coffee mug look exactly the same. So while I'm reading the book, I'm enjoying my coffee. So that also is a business. So I sell coffee mugs that look like my books, or I can give them away as free gifts to my loyal clients that are buying all my books and my content, etc. So you can merchandise that. We'll talk about that in the. Don't miss the next session on how to publish a book and turn your book into a business. But if you had your nice coffee break, we can now continue with the rest of the lesson, and I'm almost done. So you do your outline. What is the flow of the message? How many chapters do I want? 4 chapters, 6 chapters,
10 chapters. There is no magic formula to the number of chapters, but I always like to keep it either at 12, 10, 12, 14, because I like those numbers. But there's no formula to it. You can do a 7-page. I'm currently helping somebody right now. They're doing a 6-page book, and we're working on somebody else. Their book has got 4 chapters. I just did their foreword this morning, and their book will be coming out in a couple of thinking about 2 weeks or so. But so it can be 4 chapters, it can be 14 chapters, it can be 40 chapters may be a bit scary unless you're writing a Bible. But always get your structure right. Then ask yourself, what resources do I need? What research do I need to put into it? Then step number 5, this is now the nuts and bolts. What is my writing style? You need to ask yourself that question. And that, for me to really answer that effectively, I need to be sitting down with you to know what you are like. What do you do? Pastors tend to have one writing style, and storytellers and novel writers have a different style, and communicators and speakers and keynote speakers have a different style. So we need to determine what is your writing style, and then we structure your writing style so that it is effective in getting the kind of impact on your audience that is relevant. Then which language should it be? Zulu, English, Venda, Xhosa, Japanese, Taiwanese, or whatever language your target audience is. So you choose your language based on that. Now, even if it was English, you need to understand that there's different types of English. I live in South Africa. When we talk about Sotho, they have South Sotho, Northern Sotho. They have different types of Sotho. So you now need to ask yourself, which Sotho should I use? I didn't know that there was American English, British English, African English, South African English, Zimbabwean English. Then I realized, oh my goodness, every time I'm writing, some words that I'm writing, my word processor is telling me is a typo, but I knew it was the correct spelling. Then I realized, okay, Americans spell it different, the British spell it different, and in South Africa, a certain sentence may be grammatically correct, but in America, it's grammatically wrong. So you've got to play around with all of that, and we help you along the journey. So use the correct language. And then you ask the big question, am I self-publishing or am I going the traditional route of publishing? Now, in traditional publishing, your intellectual property, and I don't want, this is actually a whole 1-hour coaching session, so I don't even want to go into much detail on that. In traditional publishing, your intellectual property is bought by your publisher, and your publisher owns it, and they give you rights based on the agreement that is done on what you can do with your book. But generally, they retain most of the authority and the right for reprint, publication, redistribution, etc., because they are giving you a royalty based on whatever the percentages that are agreed. That is your traditional publishing packages. And then your self-published packages come under 2 main categories. The first one is what we call a pure self-publishing, where you do everything all by yourself. Then the second one, which is what we do at Faithland mainly, is what we call assisted self-publishing. Assisted self-publishing means we come along the journey with you, and we give you assistance where you are weak. We have graphic designers, we have editors, we have proofreaders, we have typesetting and layout, we have flyer graphic designing, etc. So we go along the journey with you, get your book registered with the national libraries. All of this stuff you can do by yourself. It can be done purely by yourself. But what I've discovered is having help along the way helps you to multiply your effectiveness, particularly if it is your first book. You need as much help as you can get. And this is not to market that you come and get published by me. I'm still willing to, remember, I'm your friend. I'm still willing to coach you and help you along the journey, even if you're going to do the whole self-publishing package all by yourself. My goal is for your book to come out, look amazing, and you get great sales, and you're able to change many lives. If that can be achieved, I'm happy, I'm cool with that, and I could have another sip to that one. So what is your writing style? What language are you using? Am I self-publishing? And then what is the budget for my project? How much am I investing into it? Am I thinking like an author who's just thinking, let me write, then I get a publishing quotation and I freak out? Or am I well attuned to the business side of it, that when I see a quotation, I can see value in the quotation and I'm able to go that route because I'm not intimidated. Unfortunately, what I've discovered with a lot of people we deal with is they are so publishing oriented and writing oriented and not business oriented, and that trips them up a little bit, because when they see a quotation to say this is how much it's going to cost to get your book out, that really freaks them out because they're not thinking business. They're just thinking, let me get a book out, I've come to a place now where, I spoke about this book for over a year, that Birthing a Mega Economy is coming out. It's been almost a year of me talking about it, telling people about this book until it eventually came out. So the idea is a book should not be paid for by money that comes out of your
pocket. It should pay for itself. It is a brilliant business model, and we can coach on that. Like I said, in the next session, we'll talk a little bit about how to get your book out with little money coming out of you. This book pays for itself. I still have to kind of put money in for the services and the excellence and everything for my books to come out, because I cannot mess up the business model. So you need to understand, how can I get my book to pay for itself? And that goes back to what I mentioned earlier. Do a business plan. Nuts and bolts part 2. Create an environment that is conducive. Now you're
getting to write. Now you've got your concept, your flow, your structure, and everything is in place. Create a conducive atmosphere for writing. I love to write, especially in my office, where I've got my nice comfy chair and my nice desk, and I've got my beautiful bookshelf with all my resources on one side. I love my office because it's easy to just pull out whatever resource that I need for research. I've got my Wi-Fi, I've got all the platforms where I do my research, and everything is in place. So make it conducive so that you don't have to be getting up every 3 minutes to go and get something else. Oh, let me go and get this, let me go and get that. So you determine that. Ask yourself the next question. Am I typing or am I writing? Am I going to do, some people still, one of our clients that I'm working with now has just finished transcribing a whole thick notebook onto their word processor. So that may take a bit of time, but there are people that really feel the greatest inspiration with a pen in hand. That's still a perfectly good way to write. So decide on that. Ensure that all resources are within reach. So what you see now, and except that I'm on a studio desk here, but in my office I would have the same arrangement, a whole pile of books, my laptop and my phone and my mug next to me. I'm ready to focus. I'm ready
to get into what I call the writing zone. Step number 6, the calendar. Have you set your
calendar? Set the time on your calendar. When do I begin and when do I end? Develop the discipline to apply yourself to it regularly. Now, when I go into a strong writing mode, which I'll be going again in a couple of weeks' time, we're just finishing the marketing strategy for the current book. But in a couple of weeks' time, I'm going to go back into my writing mode. So I will challenge myself and say every single day, I must write 1,500 words. So I sit there and I focus, and my goal is 1,500 words. So I'll be in my writing zone. I've got all my content, my resources. I've got my calendar. So I schedule the number of words based on the timeline. Okay, schedule the number of words based on your timeline. If you have 6 months or a year to write it, you can write 50 words a day. But if you have 2 weeks to finish a book, you better be able to write 10,000 words a day. Be flexible enough to take advantage of spontaneous writing, which is what I do. So what I have is, I told you about my Google Docs. My phone is got the app on it, so I can write from anywhere in the world, on flights, on holiday, when I'm at the beach. My wife was like, okay, are you writing another book? She knows the look when I'm in the writing zone. She says, are you writing another book? I was like, yes, honey. Give me just a few minutes, I'll be done. So I have to apologize because I'm in the zone. I'm spontaneous. The water on the beach is just so beautiful. It's inspiring. My dendrites and ideas just come. And I just have to write. Because when that thing kicks in, don't delay and say, I'm going to write it later, because later on you'll try and sit down and say, let me write it, and it's like, it's gone. The inspiration is gone. Catch the wave and surf that thing and ride that wave, and you're going to have lots of fun. Have a timeline in place that looks at the lifespan of the book. So not only the writing of the book to publication, but I want my book to have a 5-year lifespan or a 10-year lifespan. Then I'm going to do part 2 of the book, or an upgrade of the book. So you give it a lifespan and say, for the next 5 years, I'm going to focus on this book, and I'm going to sell 100,000 copies of this book within the next 5 years. So that's the lifespan. Step number 7, almost done. I hope you're taking notes and enjoying your coffee. Do you have your coffee there? Is it still hot? Remember, I'm your friend and I'm your coach. I want you to succeed. I want to help you write your book. Then step number 7. After you've done all the planning and all the stuff and structure and masterminding, start. That's step number 7. Just do it. Nike. Okay, that's patented. Okay, just do it. Start writing. Sit on that thing and start writing. Don't procrastinate and say, okay, now tomorrow never comes. Start writing right now. All great plans will never achieve anything if you don't dive in and start writing. Take whatever steps are needed and make progress, even if they seem small. I tell people that sometimes I just open one of my books and all I do is just put a full stop in a sentence or a comma or just put one word. I mean, earlier on today, I opened one of the books that's going to be coming out in about 2 months, and I just wrote a couple of sentences there, and I looked at it and I said, hey, that looks good. That looks good. I'm like, God creates something and he looks at it and says, it is good. It is good. When I say it's not good, then I have to erase it. It is not good that man should be alone, so God had to do a plan B on it. Get a quote. Speak to a publisher and a printer and get the whole business plan fully detailed. Hang out and hang around some authors. How many authors are you hanging around? Do you have any author friends? You better find a couple of author networks where there's a couple of authors hanging out and listen to their language, get some inspiration, get some encouragement, tell them a little bit about your project and let them speak into your life. That will really be beneficial. Step number 8, I like this one. I like number 8. Step number 8, get a coach. Okay, that's cool. Get a coach. I'm a coach. This is Coach Titch, your coach, your friend. I'm here to help you get along and get your vision done. Have someone that you're accountable to, because now you've got your business plan, you've got your timelines, you've got all of that going. You've got to have somebody that's kind of breathing down your neck to say, how far? Did you do the 1,500 words today? How is it going? Can I have a look at it? I want to give you some comments. Get a coach. With all my projects, I've got a coach. I've got people that will look at it, give me feedback, give me comments, and tell me, okay, Pastor Dr. Titch, you're behind by 4,000 words. What are we going to do about that? Then I have to okay, I'm going to be serious. I'll sleep late tonight. I'll work on it. Get a coach. The coach will encourage you, will push you along the way, will check your progress, and help you make your course correction. Submit your plan to them and they will check on you to see if you're hitting your timelines. They will encourage you, rebuke you, correct you, pray for you, and help you to stay fresh. Then number 9, pray. I'm a Christian. I love the Lord. And all of my writings are based on the Word of God and on this inspiration of the Holy Spirit. You may be from a different background, but prayer will help you. Prayer will help you connect. People talk about, what do you do when you get writer's freeze, or you go into one of those moments where there's a lull. I've never been there in the last 8 years of me being a writer. I've never been at a place where I don't have enough to write, or I'm stuck and my brain is like frozen, and I actually don't have enough time. I wish I could have an extra 24 hours. I could be spewing out those books every month. Praise God. But anyway, prayer keeps you connected to God's mind, God's thoughts, and that will help you to not suffer from writer's block or writer's freeze. Praying in the Holy Spirit also gives you access to the mind of God and helps you to write with greater creativity and greater inspiration. The Bible actually says that there is a spirit in man, and the breath of the Almighty gives him inspiration. The inspiration to write and to bring out amazing concepts that will change people's lives. That's how you stay fresh. Prayer makes you own and live the reality of the book. And that brings us to number 10. Oh man, are we done already? I was enjoying having time with you because you're my friend and I'm here to help you make your book a reality. Step number 10, you must become a brand as an author. The book and the author must both be a brand that is well packaged, well marketed. People must see the book in your life. They must see that you're living it, demonstrating it, and they will be able to buy in because you're the number one brand ambassador of your product. As a brand ambassador, you need to represent the book well. Your book must represent who you are. And in order for that to happen, your attitude towards the book, remain excited about the book and the project. I'm excited. I wrote this book 6 years ago, and I'm so excited about it now as I was back then. I still believe this is one of the best pieces of material that any man could ever read. So if you're a man and you're watching this, you better order this book. It will change your life. It will help you become a giant killer. Life is full of giants, and you need to know how to kill them giants and overcome and come out as the hero. Because when you come out as a hero, just like in those Schwarzenegger movies and Rocky, when you're the hero, everybody comes and it's like, whoa, and you have a great time. So remain excited and upbeat about your book. Number 2, create an energy about the book. Do some blogs, do some writings, do some speaking somewhere as a keynote speaker. Always bring in content from your book and quote yourself. You are that important. Speak about it often and challenge yourself from your book. Have faith in it, and others will also have faith in your content. Make noise, create a buzz around your book so that others become interested in your book. Isn't that awesome? I'm excited about what we've just shared, how to birth your book. Now, if you have any questions, please follow me on social media. I'm on Instagram, I'm on Twitter, I'm on Facebook, and you've got my website and all my contact details. Please feel free to post questions down below. I will respond to you. Inbox me, DM me, email me, get in touch with me, and guess what? We will take you along the journey. Remember what I said? I'm Coach Titch. I'm your friend. Thank you so much for connecting with us. Subscribe, hit the like button, and we will be friends for a very long time. God bless you.